My top 5 lists for cold calling right now in 2025. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here. In today's video, I'm going to show you the 5 lists you need to be pulling right now to start getting cold calling deals. So first and foremost, let's get the elephant out of the room. The top list by far is still probate. It's like ranked right here, number 1. And so you're going to pull the probate data from the clerk of the court website, from the tax rolls, wherever you get the probate information in your county or state. And then what I want you to do is go skip trace it. Now, I'd prefer you go to XLeads right here, upload the CSV and just upload the probate data and get it skip traced from there. But you're not going to be able to get this on like a software to pull. You're going to have to pull it from the county, then bring it into any software that has free unlimited skip tracing like XLeads, then get the phone numbers, then boom, you could start calling. Now, if you don't know what a probate is basically the court process of when somebody passes away and administering somebody's estate. Pretty much what this means is we reach out to people whose family member passed away and they're trying to pretty much inherit the property and take it so they can go sell it. And probates have insane motivation. You make a ton on these wholesaling deals and you get a ton of motivated sellers. Now, list number 2 is going to be one of my favorite classic lists. This is going to be the vacant high equity. I mean, it does not get any more simpler than this. This is a list of somebody that has a property. It is vacant, so nobody's living at the house. The way XLeads and many other softwares pull their vacant data is they look at properties that have the USPS green vacant slip, which pretty much means when they give mail, when the mailman sends mail to the mailbox and no one's picking up the mail after a couple days, usually about a week or 2, they'll just put a vacant slip and they don't send the mail to that person anymore because they're not picking it up. No one's picking up the mail. Usually no one's living in the house. Now, this isn't 100% the most scientifically accurate way to figure out if the property actually is vacant or not, but it's the closest thing we can do without breaking into somebody's house to see if anyone's in there or not. And it's pretty obvious, right? If no one's living in the house, that's not an asset that produces income for rentals. That is a liability that just cost money. So we need to reach out to these people who have just houses sitting there and seeing if they want to sell it. And obviously, if they have equity too, then we have the ability to make a ton of money on this deal because equity is just a fancy percentage of what somebody owes compared to what the property is worth. And so if they don't owe a lot, you can lowball them, they accept that. They can actually go through the lowball offer. But if somebody owed $200,000 on a house worth $300,000, we couldn't offer $150 because they owe $200. We can't get certain lowball offers accepted if the equity's too low. Now there's creative finance and other things we can do, but generally in wholesaling real estate, high equities are amazing. The problem is this is going to be calling 15, 20, 30,000 people if we live in Atlanta, which very, very difficult for one person. Now, if you're getting a big team, obviously you have to spread this out a little more. But if you do vacant high equities, it's going to be a lot smaller. So for example here, if I just put Fulton County, Georgia in XLeads, and I go here and see how many properties pop up in Fulton County, it's going to be 317,000. I go out here to filters and I just put vacant properties that are also high equity. So let's just do vacancy right here and scroll down to equity. At least let's do 55%. You're going to have about 4,672. Now, I want you to know when I say vacant high equity, I don't just mean those 2 data sets and that's it, right? So if I'm doing Atlanta, I'm going to max it out $550,000. I don't want properties that are worth way too much money. Let's only do single family properties for now. Leave townhouses in there, that's fine. I want to make sure the owners are individual or trusts, business, financial, or government. I prefer if they owned it for at least 3 years. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter, really depends. And I'm going to exclude active listings to make sure it's not on the MLS currently. Now this brings it down to 979. And this is really the best cold calling list possible for a single person because it's not an insane amount of data sets, but it's got lots of motivation and you're not calling 4,000 people because most of them aren't actually motivated, right? The property's worth too much, or if it's a bank owned property, you don't want to deal with it, or it's listed on the MLS. The reason it's vacant is because it's on the MLS. So it's one of my favorite data sets. Then you just add these all in, go to my leads, press download, standard, lead trace, and you got the phone number. Now, without this sounding like an XLeads commercial, I promise you it's not, my third favorite list is going to be the AI stacked list. And this sounds like an XLeads commercial because XLeads is really the only software anyone really knows about that does AI stacking, but there are certain softwares that are starting to introduce this, which honestly I welcome because I think everyone should be utilizing some AI stacking in their data set. And so what AI stacking basically means is if I put a zip code on here, you can use AI to figure out the most motivated seller. So for example here, I put 34952. Now, when you get XLeads, you actually get 1 AI zip code per month. Now, this means every single month you get to choose what zip code you want to have an AI zip in. And what this does is it collects all the data sets in the zip code and it goes off of billions of data points, which sounds crazy, but it's true, right? I mean, there's hundreds, if not thousands of data points per property and tens of thousands of properties, right? But pretty much what it does, it looks at the back end part of X leads and says, hey, on a score of 0 to 1,000, like a credit score, how motivated is this person going to be? And so if I go here to filters and let's reset all the data, and I go up here to, if I go to sellability scores, right, and I go to the wholesale score and I say, find me properties with a 700 wholesale score or above. Now you're going to see most of them are in the median, but anything above that 500 medians are going to be really good. So if I look here in the zip code, there's 450 properties that are 700 or above wholesale score. Now what you're going to see here is if you have the Pro or X plan, it actually shows you a little more of the back end. But if you have the basic plan, that's totally fine too. But if I pop up this property here, which has an 833 wholesale score, you're going to find this property right here. And by the way, we have the seller's phone number right here. It's the best skip tracing. It's going to show that they have a 833 wholesale score. And it's finding that because of 19 years of ownership and the property not having any history of being listed, which sounds pretty dang good. So it's telling me if the property has light repairs, you should probably do an MAO of 235 if it's median 222 or heavy 204. And that's what you should offer on this property. Now you're going to find with this property with a 949 wholesale score, you might be like, wow, why does that one have a high one? Well, Deal Ninja AI with the Pro and X plan is actually going to tell you why, right? If you have the basic plan, it's not going to really tell you the back end why. But if you have the Pro or X plan, it basically says it right here. Well, the reason why this is a good wholesale deal we're showing on the back end is first and foremost, there's a deceased probate tag. Now, we've never been able to give this before, but we give it on here saying that there's been a probate filing in 2024 and 2025 on this property. It's free and clear. And also the owner type is under a trust, which shows it's a potentially non-occupant owner. And with the AIs figuring out, well, if there's a probate filed and the property's free and clear, this is probably going to be a good wholesale deal. It's telling me exactly where to be at an MAO and where we should be at a strong offer to go get this wholesale deal. So again, don't overthink it. This isn't like gospel, like, oh, if the wholesale score is 400 for the AI, then it's not a good wholesale deal. It's just a predictive index. It looks at all the data points and says this one shows more likelihood of being a wholesale deal than not. Go use the AI, right? It's just a list. It's not just going to be like, this is a deal or not a deal, right? But it's basically just an extra special list. You can pull of 450 sellers, you can call and text and get a great wholesale deal. Now, number 4, one of my personal favorite deals is going to be from the code violation list. And guys, calling this is a simple one, just like the probates. You go to the code enforcement, you get all open code violations, you import it into X leads, make sure you filter out anything that's not a single family property or even a townhouse, and then call the seller up and get a great wholesaling deal. Number 5, last but not least, is the tax delinquency list. Now, I'm also going to say the liens list. I mean, I think they're both amazing, right? Right now, it'd be better if you just pulled it from the county. Not saying X Leads sucks, but let me give you my exact reasoning why. So if I go here into X Leads or any wholesaling software, of course, I go to filters and choose tax delinquency. I can go here to filters on a city and just choose delinquent tax activity, which is a delinquent tax list, which is tax delinquency. But the problem with that is with the X Leads systems, right, in any other system, it's going to be at least like a week or two behind when the property tax isn't paid and it's officially, quote, delinquent. Same thing with liens. You can actually upgrade and get liens in X Leads if you go to the upgrade tab, but it's going to take at least 2 to 3 weeks for the liens to start popping up in the system. Same thing with pre-foreclosures on any wholesale software, because wholesaling softwares inherently use pretty much the same data source, most of them. They're going to be at least 2 to 3 weeks behind when a pre-foreclosure list pendants is filed. So it's better just going straight to the county because you're going to beat everybody else getting to the lead faster than anyone. So it's all about that speed to the lead. And so all you do is pull the data, upload it right here, get it skip traced, and start calling. Tax delinquencies are great. They're not paying the property taxes, and liens, it's definitely a situation going on in the house. Just make sure you remove mechanics liens and you're going to be doing well. So guys, overall, that is my top 5 cold calling list for 2024 right now. And the main part is you gotta start calling. If you ain't calling, you ain't making money in wholesale and real estate. So guys, go out here and get some deals, start cold calling. Let's start having some wholesale success.